You know what I wanted to touch on really quick before we go to the fan questions is not only have you had all the accolades, you know, commercially, but you've also worked with just like what I have to imagine are so many of your heroes from, I mean, J-Lo to Christina. Like you've had sleepovers with Christina Aguilera.
Yes.
What the hell happens at a sleepover with Christina?
So, well, I introduced her to Black Mirror, you know, because she hadn't seen that show. And I was like, girl, we got to get you together real quick. So I introduced her to Black Mirror. You know, she has her dogs. And we just talk about, like, literally the same thing. And she's like, come on over, girl. And I'm like, I'm dipping out right now. You know, and we literally just watch Netflix, drink wine. And then, you know, I play with her kids, you know, in the backyard. We have like a real friendship. And I can't say that about a lot of the artists that I work with. You know, I definitely have been able to work with so many incredible people that I looked up to around that in my early 20s. Yeah. I don't know if I'm now that I'm 26, I'm like, is that the late 20s? Is that the mid 20s? I don't know which one it is. But anyways, earlier on, like 21, 22, I was like, I need to, and even 19, I was like, I gotta write with all of my favorite divas. Like I had to hit up Mariah. I had to do TLC, you know, the remaining members. I had to do Christina, of course. I had to do Mary J. Blige. Like I just felt like there was a lot that I could learn from these women. And that was exactly what I was able to do, you know. Christina and Mariah, like they all gave me incredible advice that sometimes when I'm with younger artists, I'm like, wow, you know what I learned from this other person that it
and then
actually
you pass it on.
Exactly.
What's the best advice Christina's ever given you?
Oh my gosh. You know, the one thing that Christina like pointed out to me, right? So she used to say, she was like, you know, I used to be, you know, not the most like outgoing person or not the nicest, but I had to learn a lesson when somebody treated me that exact same way. And from that moment, she was like, you know, it kind of changed her perspective in wanting to be that person that groomed newer artists and newer songwriters, Sia for instance, and really be a girl's girl, because she started to notice that, you know, anybody else that says the divas of our kind of generation or whatever aren't like Sweet in particular, right? I just think they don't know them. And also I think that maybe those divas had to have that opportunity to really get back to real, you know? And so that's one thing that I learned from her, because she was so willing to admit, hey, I've had some moments, you know, where I come off as not the sweetest, but I learned from those things, and that's something that you don't want to have to learn the hard way from. Or you don't want to have to go through this, or you don't want to, it's so many things that I've been able to learn from just being around them, and it's been an exciting journey, just kind of, again, being a student.
Yeah, and I love that you're paying it forward now, which is so cool to the next generation.